What's up? It's HerpTime and we're back on YouTube. I've neglected it for too long. You know, this is where HerpTime, the name, started. I made the name in middle school with my friends. We thought it was funny, Herp. It sounded funny to us. It's still funny to a lot of people. But the first HerpTime video is not there. I deleted it maybe freshman year because I moved schools. I didn't want the kids I was trying to make friends with realize I was a weirdo. I made some videos in middle school of herping and of course deleted them. I totally regret that, but you can still see some of the original HerpTime videos over 10 years old, and we're going back to the roots. On Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, I'm active. Maybe you knew that I moved facilities. Well, maybe I need to back up a little. I've been breeding reptiles full-time for 4 or 5 years now. So of course I've always been doing it before then, but it's been full-time. It's really been good and been super successful. Thank God. I can't take any credit for just the luck and the blessings that I've had over the past 5-6 years, and it's just been so amazing. So many people support and love what I'm doing, and I cannot take much credit. So regardless of that, I moved facilities to a smaller spot. I really didn't downsize that much on the animals. I'm probably going to produce more animals this year than I ever have, but I just got a smaller spot to save money on rent, electricity, just insurance, everything. So why not? And with social media, that helps pay for all this too. You know, got to live a normal life, pay for food, gas, an apartment, and, you know, family, and on top of keeping all these animals. So I'm going to document this. This might not be a very exciting video. This might not be a very clean cut video, but I'm going to document the move. It's going to be hectic, and it's going to be good. I want to throw a huge shout out before I forget at any point in the video to ZoomEd for hooking me up with new enclosures. They're sending me a bunch for this new place. I've been using these HerpCult acrylics, which honestly work really well for my micro geckos, but for the anoles, I need bigger enclosures. I've used the ZoomEds before. It worked the best for me in the past, and I'm going to go back to that. One thing I've learned is that I mess up a lot. I mean, when I'm 26, I've been doing this for, you know, my whole adult life, and I've learned the hard way a lot of things. So I'm also making these videos to tell you what not to do. If you ever want to do this, whether it's keeping one pair of lizards or you want to start your whole own breeding operation, well, maybe one of my videos can help you in some way or another. I'm going to be filming this move, and then after that we're going to be doing enclosure builds, care videos, general collection videos, anything I can think of. I'll even be visiting friends' collections, filming there, maybe some herping that can help us give insight into how we keep these animals, all sorts of stuff. I'm just going to make as much content as I can for you guys, and whatever you like, I hope you tell me and I can make more of it, because in the end I want to make content that I enjoy but also you enjoy, because I'm making it for you. If I was making it for myself, I wouldn't be posting it here. So let me know what you guys like. I want it to be good, and if it ends up doing good, it can help pay for this place, which would help a lot. I always tell people, if I never had to sell a lizard, I wouldn't. I would keep every single baby I hatch, because that's how much I enjoy them and I love them. It's out of necessity that I breed them to sell them. I really breed them just because I enjoy keeping the animals. So, and of course it's awesome to share them with people. I would give them away if I could, but yeah, I'm rambling. Without further ado, let me just show you the new HerpTime, and I probably won't show you the old one. We're just going to start on a clean slate here, and hope you enjoy the video. It's always HerpTime. So this is going to be the new HerpTime facility. It is smaller, but it's going to work perfectly. So down here stays a lot cooler than the second level. This will be for frogs, also stuff like Shinosaurus, maybe some Europlatus, so species that like it colder are all going to be in this section. And here is going to be quarantine for any new animals, also any wild caught stuff that might be sold. It's going to go in there, and I'm going to really kind of seal this off. This is going to be like the packing area, obviously sink, so I'm going to do my RO water here. Bathroom, of course, for when duty calls. Storage, this is just going to be general storage. This is really the only storage I have, so I'm going to have to get rid of a lot of junk. I'm not a hoarder, but I have a lot of stuff, so that's the only place I can put anything. Now, this is where the real magic is going to happen. Of course, lots of cool frog stuff down here, but this is where the anole and micro gecko stuff is going to happen, so let's go upstairs. Once you come up here, it's a lot warmer than down there. It's probably 10 degrees warmer. So this whole wall behind me is going to be the adult anole enclosure that should be able to fit around 50, give or take, of the 18-18-24 zoom ends. This wall is going to be a bunch of 12-12-18 zoom ends, which will house mostly baby anoles and maybe smaller species. Two walls, some more baby anole cages, and the rest of the room will be micro geckos. So you can imagine these walls are going to be covered in cages. So the micro geckos are all going to be on rolling carts. So they'll mostly fit here. These ones probably won't move. There'll be an aisle of micro geckos in the middle. And those rolling carts will actually move. So when I want to film videos, have some more space to work on the anoles, I can move the micro geckos out of the way. Also, if I want to film the micro geckos, I can push them more towards the anoles, film in front of them. It's going to work out pretty cool. I also have this cool balcony out here. I'm going to play around with keeping some animals outside. This is Southern California, so the temperatures are pretty ideal for some species, like green anoles, maybe some species of Cuban false chameleons. So I can fit, I think the math was 6 enclosures right on that ledge. And then if I really wanted to stack some here outside, I could fit 8 more, so I could really maximize that space. I'm going to start messing around with that because as you can kind of see, these trees block a lot of the sun. The sun rises over there, it comes here. It's only hitting this balcony maybe 2 or 3 hours midday, and then the rest of the day it's pretty cool. So it should work pretty well. There is one problem though. I don't know if you guys can see. Let me show you some obvious ones. See that? See that? See that? Normally, no problem if you're keeping ball pythons, if you're keeping a monitor lizard, but when you're keeping micro geckos this big, baby anoles this big, that can escape and get away into those cracks in like the blink of an eye, even just cupping one up to ship it, that's a huge problem. So what I'm gonna do today before I move anything in here, I'm gonna look at every square inch of the ceiling, the corners, the walls, anywhere there could be a possible breakout that a gecko could escape. We're gonna fill it in, and I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna do that. So to fill in these gaps, I'm gonna use Great Stuff foam, which I use for backgrounds a lot. And I'm also gonna use some silicone, which I also use for backgrounds. So this is just like creating an enclosure, except we're filling in all the gaps. So it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm gonna probably start down here, find any spots, even stuff like this down here that needs to get filled in, because I don't know how, if you guys totally understand how tiny baby micro geckos are, but they're I can't even describe. They're this big and the thickness of like a toothpick, and they can squeeze through anything. So I really want to avoid issues, and that's what we're going to try to do today. See down here, right in here, we're going to cover that all up. And then we're also going to try to put this baseboard back. So literally everywhere like this, you can even fit a lot of full grown micro geckos. So we're going to go like this, fill it in. I'm doing the downstairs because of course the micro geckos could crawl downstairs, and we don't want them to get stuck in these little holes. For their safety and for my mental of losing these things. Losing a gecko when you're packing it and supposed to send it to someone is one of the worst things to ever happen. And something like this, if a gecko went in here, that means I have to tear the whole baseboard out and find the gecko. But of course there's gonna be cages against this wall, which is another layer of, anyway, it would take half a day to get a gecko out of here. So I just did the silicone downstairs, and there was nowhere really to use this, but there's some bigger gaps up here. I'm just gonna show you guys the general idea. Hopefully this works. I honestly haven't used this. I've only ever used this for terrarium backgrounds, which isn't its intended purpose. What I'm doing right now is literally its intended purpose, but I'm not sure how well it'll work. So let's test out right here. Okay. It works. And then it should dry and I can carve away the excess. Of course it's gonna expand. And that's the idea. We are micro gecko proofing this place. So here we are getting a bunch of new Zoom eds for HerpTime. We already have some delivered here. They're getting lowered down, and of course my front door is too small to fit a whole pallet. So I have to, not wait, you guys are gonna see the after, take them all off the pallet. And these are all going upstairs. So all the Zoom Ed enclosures have been unloaded. We have some Reptile there too and some lights. I know a few more pallets of lights and other supplies are coming. Huge thank you to Zoom Ed for doing this. I'm gonna be making a lot of videos with these enclosures. I'm upgrading all my adult anoles from 12, 18s to these 18, 24. So they're gonna really, really be happy. Some other geckos are getting upgrades. And then we have some smaller enclosures for the baby anoles. Now, this is the fun part that you guys aren't gonna see on video. I'm gonna carry each and every one of these enclosures myself. Camera lady's not helping. I have no help today from friends or anyone. They're all going, not in here. All the cages here I already have. They're at the other shop that's coming later this week. Those are all going upstairs, this tiny stairway, all the way up here, and I'm gonna set them up later. So, but gotta get them out of the parking lot and in here safely. So wish me luck. I'm definitely getting my workout in today. All right, a few hours later, boom, boom. Cages for days. They're all upstairs. I'm definitely gonna sleep good tonight, very tired. But now is the fun part. Unwrapping them and seeing if my old system, which was wall mounted, is gonna work. These cages are heavier than my acrylic ones, old ones. So I'm gonna do a little test run, and if it doesn't work, you will never see this part of the video. And if it does, then awesome. Here we go. It worked. Yes, it worked. I was actually a little nervous if there was gonna be enough room because I couldn't go all the way down. I have electrical stuff here, and if it was gonna hold the weight and all that good stuff. So it worked. This is the old wire shelving that I have at the original, or not the original, but the current facility. And I have this small piece that I wanted to test out to make sure before I do the whole wall. Because if this didn't work, I was gonna do some metal shelving that I have, but it's 24 inches deep, and that's 6 inches more than the enclosures, and I'm trying to really maximize space here because I am gonna have a lot of enclosures in here, and 6 inches is a lot. It's a lot, if you know what I mean. These fit well. The light bars fit perfect, the Zoom Ed T5s. And if I want to install misting, which I probably will, even though I'm debating if I should go back to hand misting, perfect amount of space. And yeah, I'm gonna throw some bags of Reptile soil in there, see what happens overnight. I don't even think an earthquake would be an issue. They're there. They're not going anywhere. So there is only about 2 inches of overhang, which luckily the Zoom Ed right there catches, so any weight will be on there. There's not gonna be a whole lot of weight in the enclosure, just maybe an inch or so of soil max and then some branches, so not gonna be anything crazy. No rocks on the background, it's definitely not in these. This whole wall is gonna be these, and then that wall is gonna be these, and more walls that need to be filled, so we'll see how that goes. So this is the first line of business. 2 days later, and they're still standing, so safe to say I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do the floating racks. I'm building these for micro geckos right now. Today is the big move, moving most of the animals besides the anoles, because obviously I still need to do that and set those enclosures up. I still have a month left, but just getting everyone over here besides the anoles to kind of start building anole enclosures. Today is the big move. Lots of paludariums, lots of stuff downstairs, all the frog stuff is getting moved. Let me just show you guys. We made some progress yesterday, but today's the big day. We have a good group of friends that are gonna help. Thankful for them. I have amazing friends. So this room is jam-packed with enclosures that I already had. Paludariums are all on the bottom. You can see more paludariums here, more supplies there. So it's gonna be a busy day. And I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's all said and done. Now at this point in the video, everything has mostly been moved, but it's a nightmare. Everything's everywhere, nothing's in order, and these enclosures on the ground were taking a lot of space. So I decided I had to put the new Zoom Eds on the wall to make space. So that's what I did. You can see I'm installing the shelving on the wall. Obviously, you got to find studs in the wall to put the brackets on the studs so that this works. Now, this is a lot of weight on the wall, I know, but I had tested it and I was confident that it would be okay. And so far, so good. This was over the course of 2 days I did this. I am going to show you guys more of how HerpTime looks in this video, so stay tuned for that. But for now, enjoy watching toiling, putting these things on the wall. Thank you again, ZoomEd, for sending me these. This is definitely upgrading the animals. It's going to be really fun to keep them in them. I'm going to enjoy them way more, and honestly, it's way easier to clean this glass when you got big anole poops. Geckos, it's easier for the acrylic, but the anoles, I think glass works. Oh man, you guys, it's done. The large cages are on the wall. It's time to clean this mess up. And after that's cleaned up, I'm gonna make more mess and put the lights on. So let's get to that. I don't think I'm gonna film cleaning this. I'll probably film getting the lights. All right, we got all the lights on the ZoomEds. Oof, it looks good. Now all the anoles are still at the other shop, and I need to get them over here ASAP because I need to get out of that shop. I got most of the micro geckos over here. They're all on these racks. They need their lights too, but they're fine. For now, I want to do these lights because it's going to be a pain more than those. I'm going to set these up kind of bare bones. Of course, I'm going to make them really nice, bioactive. That's the whole point of using these larger enclosures. But to get the animals over here, I'm just going to do some Reptis oil, branches, kind of how I keep them over there. They're totally fine that way. But it's definitely not what we're going to do full time in the end. But just to get animals out of that place and over here, I'm going to start putting Reptis oil in. And I'll probably film once that's done. Kind of a pain, and no one wants to watch me just open bags of dirt and fill these up. Let me show you kind of what downstairs is looking like. I don't think I've shown that yet. Of course, this wall here is going to have the 40, 12, 12, 18s there. And then I have to figure out where I want to put these 18, 18, 36s. I could either put them on this wall, or there's a wall back here that's right there. Let's show downstairs real quick. The shop is coming together. I forgot how much smaller it is than the other one. Of course, that's kind of the whole point. Focus and condense. There's a lot of wasted space at the other one now. This is the cold area, frog area, whatever you want to call it. Kind of using the cages for storage right now. So this is all going to be Shinosaurus actually on the top. I'm deciding if I'm going to do water paludariums on the bottom or planet tanks. But for now, the Shinosaurus are going in the bottom so that I can work on making these really cool and really pretty. Frog rack on this side. This is where the Mantellas go. They're still at the other shop. And question is if I want to get more frogs or if I want to focus on more species of gecko, maybe Europlatus and other cooler species of reptile down here. I don't know. We're gonna have to decide. And then in here, the Tamaras, also using them for storage right now. A lot of stuff there. And then I think this is gonna be the quarantine area. So quarantine room, much smaller than before. I was thinking this was gonna be quarantine room, but I'm realizing imports are cool, and it's cool to get cool animals for cool people who want to work with wild caught stuff. But I honestly end up losing out on it usually, and it's just because I like the animals and I want them to go to the right people. But I think I'm going to make it a smaller part of HerpTime and just focus more on the breeding, focus on building cool enclosures, inspiring you guys how to build your enclosures for uncommon species. So for now, that's all I have. I'll get back to you when upstairs is done for anoles. All right, you guys. We got dirt in the tanks. A whole day later. Lots of sticks. Again, this is temporary. This is just for the next month or so, maybe a little longer, till I get these all really nice background out, plan it out, all the above. But this is almost what they were like at the old HerpTime. The anoles will be fine. I want to make it prettier though. So you can kind of see we got the UV up there, the ZoomEd Reptis Suns, 5.0 is what I use for the anoles. And I'm going to either put the anoles in tonight or tomorrow. I'm going to go have dinner right now, wash off my hands, and I'm sweaty. I also need to install all these on that wall. And of course, like a genius, I didn't realize until when I went to do this that this wall is cement. Not like this, which is drywall with studs. This is a full concrete wall. So going to require some extra work, so I might have to bang that out tonight to get these up and out of the way. I got these up earlier today, and I got that rack up over there for some smaller enclosures. These micro Gecko racks are kind of how they're going to be, but I'll show that later. Oh my gosh, it's a nightmare. Day later, boom, the baby rack is done. That wall, like I said before, was concrete, so that was not fun to drill into. I had to get a hammer drill from Home Depot, rented it, but we're all good to go. Look at this. One plug for all those lights. Oh yeah, the ZoomEd T5 Reptisons 5.0s is what I'm using here. The one gripe with them is that they don't daisy chain like some of the other lights. That's okay. When you got HerpTime, make it all go into one plug. So yeah, a little bit of effort there, but these are a slimmer fixture, low profile, really nice, so I prefer them, and totally worth it. And I love the ZoomEds because they have one nice, beautiful viewing pane. Oh, it's like a little work of art once you make a cool trim. And I am going to do that with all of these. So all of these are temporary just to get the animal set up, going. They're fine in there, but I do want to make it nicer for my viewing pleasure, and so that we can learn together how to make these cool enclosures for them. I think that's the end of this video, just because if I documented everything else to get this place fully moved into, we might be here for 3 more years and you'd never see this video. So for now, all the animals are at HerpTime. Everyone's set up. Basically, we're misting everyone tonight. We're feeding everyone tomorrow. I'd say it's a success, but I still do need to clean the other place. Hopefully get my security deposit back or some of it. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I know this isn't like a super exciting video, but just stay tuned. And I am forced to make content because I told ZoomEd if they send me some cool cages, I'll make some cool videos. So they kept their end of the deal. They hooked me up with some cages, so I'm going to make some videos with them. And hopefully they turn out well. Hope you guys learn along the way with me. And yeah, next time you think about owning 3,000 reptiles and moving them, reconsider.